Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I had to play that whole song in its entirety. I got permission from Jeffrey Day to play that song throughout the whole entire, and through its entirety. It just was released on Patreon. I'm going to give him a not-so-shameless plug. I'm shameful for me, but if you guys are going to be throwing me some money, don't throw it to me, throw it to him first, and definitely tell him that I sent you guys. He's one of the few artists that actually throw money at on Patreon, and he put this out 10 hours ago, and it's amazeballs. I mean, I enjoy it, and if y'all enjoy it, definitely show him some love, man. If you don't want to pay for it, that's fine too. I mean, but he's got his own freaking channel, and this guy, like I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. This cat, if I had half his skill, I would not be humble. It's pretty badass. Anyway, his deep dive is on how he put together this track is going to be coming probably in the next week. That's usually how he operates, but he puts out some really good stuff. Anyway, having said that, allow me to introduce you to who I have in the torture session here. Yes, indeed. So, man, we need to get Brick. Or not Brick, but we need to get Pac-Man a little something to show his grace his face. Yeah. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I can only be I'm the only handsome one that's allowed here. But actually, we do have a contender. Crowd Kish. He look at it. He got rid of his Jesus face, and you can see more of his face. His cheeks no longer, like when he smiles, now his cheeks have a danger of just overcoming his eyes. When you smile, does it get hard for you to see?
A little bit.
Anyway, guys. So oh wait, I can't think properly when I'm listening to this awesome music in the background. Let me turn that down just a scotch.
Oh, I thought it was because of my face.
No, I'm not looking at it. I can't look at it. No, sir. No, but anyway, we're gonna be talking about Redfall, and there's this thing that's been going on. Sorry, Jeffrey, love you, boy, but we gotta keep on going. So I typed in just Redfall reviews. Okay, this is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, I might have a different opinion that runs contrary to popular belief or goes against the grain, etc., etc. But I do have to say that it was not a finished game, and I think it's getting kind of a hard critical review, to be honest. There's things that we've got to talk about, and there's two different ways that we can approach this. Number one, we can approach it with the idea of how much money you're getting, or how much you're getting for your money's worth, and as opposed to, say, playing it for free, how would you feel? I mean, when money gets involved, feelings gets got. You know what I mean? So in our little thread that we have up here, I put. With Redfall getting blasted in reviews and our own experiences with it, I figure it's a good time to talk about how bad or good it really is. Like the title says, there's good things about it and bad things, and maybe some downright ugly things. And I put out the question to my community, such as it is, what their thoughts are. I figured it'd be a good idea for me to rope in Crouch Kish and Pac-Man, because they have different perspectives, and I'm not going to fault them for that much. Unless they don't know who Soundwave is, but that's another topic entirely.
Wait, who?
I'm flying to Pennsylvania and shooting you. Anyway, that's a joke, people. Anyway, what? Soundwave is my spirit bot, man. If you know, you know. But anyway, I put out the good, and let's just break it down break it down on the good category, and I'm gonna let Pac-Man go first. What did you find good with the game, with Redfall?
Well, as usual, I've prepared nothing. So, love the detail in the actual world itself. Find just the ground, the city, the small little things in the city. Be pretty detailed.
Okay.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Well, is that more like along the lines of is that more along the lines of just graphics and the level of detail, or are we talking how everything looks like it's part of a world? Oh, you didn't expect a follow-up conversation, did you? Or a follow-up question?
Follow-up question.
I would say if I had to choose, a little more along the lines of actual graphical detail than fits in a world.
Okay.
I mean, those waves that are just paused in time in the beginning of the game is kind of weird. I haven't played a whole lot of it, so I might explain that later on down the storyline or something. But
okay.
Yeah, I forgot about those waves at the beginning.
yeah,
That was still pretty cool though, having them pause like that.
yeah. You just couldn't swim through them though.
No,
Well,
I definitely think it's something to do with the story.
that actually kind of reminded me a lot of the gunk that you could get into in Atomic Heart.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna say the. I think it's just called Gunk.
Oh, the game?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, it's been a while since I played that game.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't think I ever played that one.
Not too bad.
It wasn't bad for a new game or a new or what was it?
Very linear.
Yes, it was. Okay. Anything else good, or was that it?
Gun design is really good, I think.
That's what really attracted me. Yes.
Yes.
Here we go. There we go. That bugged me. Now everybody knows who you are. Oh shit.
There's my face.
Face reveal.
Copyright.
Is it? I don't think it is copyrighted, is it?
By me.
Ooh. All right.
Pac-Man owns the rights.
Yes, he does.
I am Pac-Man.
So, so it was the level of detail in the water. And admittedly, water is really hard to animate. Water and hair. And that's why I really enjoyed it. The first time I played Sea of Thieves, I thought that was a pretty good animation. They handled that really well. But we're not talking about Sea of Thieves. We already know that's a resounding success. So, and I have to agree. It does this. Sea of Thieves does what it sets out to do. But what do you think Redfall set out to do? And we're gonna touch on this a little bit later because I have a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory for the end. So stick around for that.
I'm gonna leave that topic to you because I don't delve that deep into development like that. I just thought they meant to try to make a good game and
A good shooter.
did okay at it.
Right. Okay. Kish, what do you got? For good.
Guns are very satisfying in it.
Okay.
And again, I like the graphic detail and everything in the game. And it's got a good loophole too between all the guns, like how they have them set up with like
Right.
levels. What is it? 1 through, I believe the highest I found was 8, and then the
Oh, dear.
green, blue, purple, gold.
Oh, well, that actually comes from a lot of different things. I'm still messing around with this Pac-Man thing again.
I see that.
Sorry.
He's trying to get your face on right.
Yeah. I'm just fucking around here now, but God dang it! Oh my gosh! Oh no, I screwed up! Oh no!
I just leave it.
No! How do I get back to normal? Ah,
Click on me again.
son of... Is it?
Down bottom.
Okay,
Bottom
there we go.
middle.
No, I got you. Stupid. I'm an idiot. Anyway, okay. That's it? That's all you got, Kish? For good?
for right now. Yeah. I mean, I like the movement in it too. I love the movement in it actually.
That,
Being able to
yeah,
run,
yeah,
it's very smooth.
it is.
too.
It is.
Stamina for the running, very good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're not walking in a brisk walk and say ready or not.
Yeah.
There's there is something to be said about comparison or to compare something is the thief of joy, and of course I mean we're gonna touch on that a little bit not too far from now when we get to the ugly, but for my part, my perspective, the good. Okay, let me go ahead and just toss this up right now. The good. Crossplay compatible via Steam, Epic, and Game Pass. This is a feature that needs to be in more video games, bar none. It's very hard to do, and I want to see more games that do that. That allows all gamers to get together and play. Like, could you imagine a game like Elite Dangerous? If Elite Dangerous was a game that everybody from all different platforms could play, just imagine how vibrant and how rich that your experiences would be with people playing a co-op game. It doesn't matter if you're on Steam, Epic, Game Pass, PlayStation Network, whatever thing that Nintendo's doing. If all these different players from all different countries and stuff can come together and have a common goal, common purpose, I think that would be a really good thing to put out in the world. Of course, Pac-Man's going to probably be hearing a lot of the stuff that he's read in a book, not too long ago. He Who Fights Monsters. But I really enjoy the message of that book. Of course, that's not part of the conversation, but there is a point to be made about having a game that everybody can come together and just really like. And unfortunately, the way things are right now in the AAA game space is that I think we've gotten kind of spoiled with like top tier games about maybe 3-4 years ago, and we're just looking for the next really good game we can get behind. And when a game doesn't fulfill those expectations, or whatever expectations we might have for it, and it falls short, we can't help but feel disappointed. I look at a game for what it is, not for what I hope it to be. Okay, and that's probably why I have a higher tolerance for new IPs to stumble. Cyberpunk 2077 was a very good example. I knew from the get-go that it was going to run perfect. The engine, all that stuff, but for my experience with the game, it was good. There was only one point in that game that I felt pissed off, and that was at the very end. It's like, oh, come on, there's nothing going on. I'm not moving my game character around. I'm not shooting. There's not a lot of stuff, and it just crashes during the ending credits, which happened to be the most satisfying part of a video game that has lasting effects. Now, full disclosure, I haven't beat Redfall yet. Matter of fact, we're on the second map, and Pac-Man, when I told there's a second map, he goes, "Wait, there is?"
I haven't played a whole lot of it.
Yeah. The crouch action, awesome. I need to make that like an emote or something. But that's the good for me. Oh, repeatedly even. Oh, the gauntlet has been thrown. Don't crack your cock. Yeah, the cratch kiss should be cratch codpiece. Anyway, now there's something that I want to echo back to you guys. The gun models of Redfall was beautiful. That's when I saw the gameplay elements of that game, I was immediately struck by the gun models that was shown in the game. You had the M16s, you had the freaking pistols, looks like a deagle. Let me go ahead and type in Redfall review. Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the gun models were pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. So, the bad. What was the bad? Pac-Man? And remember, there's worse than bad. There's ugly too. So save your most criticizing critique for ugly. But what was bad for
I definitely feel like this game was definitely made to be played in multiplayer, not in single player. For some reason, I haven't played it lately, but I haven't felt the need to go play the game by myself. If one of you guys had started playing the game, I probably would have hopped on, but I just can't find the drive to play the game by myself.
That makes
I don't
sense.
know exactly what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but it's not fun without other people.
Yeah, I could see that. It would be pretty hard too doing it solo, because I don't think they scale when there's more people in there.
I'm not.
I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either. Okay, well, let me challenge that for a second, Pac-Man. I'm not calling you wrong or anything like that, but what about
Don't get me wrong.
It does a little bit.
what about Tiny Tina's?
What about it?
Have you, I mean, most of your game time, was that with people, or did you try to develop your character a little bit on your own?
Well, I definitely developed it on my own.
Okay. But, there was something compelling there for you to listen to, or to watch, or take part in. So I guess
Yeah.
I guess the takeaway, me trying to refine and challenge, trying to get down to it, is that there was no compelling reason for you to go out and find an adventure by yourself. Right?
In Redfall.
Yeah, in Redfall.
Yeah.
So that would be a fair assessment. Okay. That's fair.
That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah. I just had to refine it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Although if we compare Tiny Tina's with Redfall, I don't think that's going to thief our joy of Tiny Tina's at any time soon, because we ended up getting a lot of gameplay out of that for sure.
Yeah, we did.
Anything else? Pac-Man.
As of right now.
Okay. Cool. Kish. What's bad?
So the bad, besides like minor bugs, like when we first started playing it, you had the bug where you couldn't see anything that we could,
Right.
and then the issues we had with the going into the second map, which I didn't really experience them as much as you, I don't think, being the so I think that was more host issues.
Right.
But besides that, I mean, I guess this would be a bad point. Well, it's kind of a good and bad point. Basically, the one I put in the thread, where it's good from a POV if you're playing it on Game Pass, but if you had to pay $70 for it on Steam, then I could see why people are disappointed with it, with the bugs that they're having in it, the glitches, like even the host glitches, stuff like that.
Oh, just a callback. The good loot pool. There was a really good loot pool on that for sure.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good to play a game that's got bugs when you don't have to pay for it, right? Game Pass, all that stuff. I mean, that's definitely why it should be there, in my opinion, anyway.
Oh, 100%.
But if you bought a game for $70 and it had these bugs in there, even after a week, because it seems to me that when a game gets released, there's going to be a bunch of bugs. Now, I don't know if it's because it's being released into the wild to get played on different architecture and different game, different machines that have different specs. That's one thing I think, and it can cause problems, bugs or whatever. And of course, they'll throw out some hot fixes because games are more and more. The argument could be made that games are more complex, definitely, since like the cartridge days of Nintendo 64 or whatnot, right? But if you're paying $70 for a game, or even $60, from like 2 years ago, that seems to be the going consensus. Is that I think commercially the customers are getting really, really tired. And when I say customers, I mean you, me, and Joe Schmuckatelli down there with a controller in his hand, who's shelling out hard-earned money. Yeah, having game-breaking bugs or bugs that were annoying or not operating as what it said on the tin. Yeah, I can see that.
Definitely. And then even the bugs we hear about from like Like the last time you were streaming, I think there's people in your chat saying that they got kicked out, and then when they went back in, all their loot was gone. Everything they collected.
Yep. Yeah, there was other games that,
be...
yeah, there was other games that had that problem too. I think there was a game that cannot legitimately fix that problem. I forget which game it was, but yeah, it's well, I mean, I think that kind of harkens back into cross compatibility issues. Saving things on servers and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah, the bad was the bugs. Yeah, I get it. My bad was what was my bad? Yeah, connectivity issues, frame rate limited for super gamers who own gaming monitors. No modability for guns. Give me my silencers, damn it. That's what I wrote down for the bad. Okay, so this was gonna be a little bit more nuanced. So I spent most of my time grinding salvage, because the in-game loot is basically salvaging odds and ends to give back to the community, and because I give them X amount of whatever, they say, hey, okay, well, that's worth a gun, whatever. Boy, that's one hell of a barter economy, but whatever. They're most of the guns that you were getting had random modifiers on there, almost akin to Diablo 2, Diablo 3 type stuff. And the gun, like I said, the gun models look really fantastic, but it wasn't a guaranteed thing. And you would think that if you're, creeping around in a city that has a bunch of zombies and a bunch of humans that are out to get you one way or the other, you want to be super silent sneaky, right? And of course, going after a supernatural vampire, you want to like knock them down a peg or two so you can just stick them. Or actually, it'd be kind of neat to show up, come up to them and then just stab them in the heart from the get-go if you're super silent sneaky. Sneaking up in a vampire, maybe not all that realistic, but then again, we're talking about vampires, right? But I think there should have been like, I don't know if it was part of the game development, it got cut because it got pushed out the door, or if they didn't think about that. But there should have been like some type of mod bench where you could slap on whatever you want. They did give you the ability of adding skins to the game, to whatever weapon you're using, provided you unlock them, and a different type of bayonet on most weapons. I thought that was cool, but they could have taken that a lot farther, in my opinion. And the fact that they didn't include something as utilitarian as, say, a silencer. I think a lot of games that have a run and gun mechanic, this game kind of broke that mold against many other shooter games that allows you to put attachments on there. Games like State of Decay 2 allows you to put silencers or muzzle brakes or whatever, chokers or chokes on certain weapons. Of course, you got the Call of Duty crowd that has every damn attachment under the sun, up to and almost including a cappuccino maker for your M16 or something like that, right? Of course, I'm overstating it, but probably not by much. There's, the only other game that doesn't allow you, that's wildly popular, by the way, is again Tiny Tina's. You can't mod your weapons in any way. You can just improve them. That's it. But I think that was a very big missed opportunity on the part of Arcane Studios. So that's my beef with that. And actually, honestly, that's probably my biggest gripe, to be honest. It's not game breaking. It's just a disappointment, and that's why I put it under the bat. Now, for me, I have just 3 TVs. I don't have game monitors such as Kitch does, and I kind of envy him a little bit. But as far as cost effectiveness, I think I kind of came out on top. But that's just me. But the whole idea of locking a game to 30 frames per second, I don't see that as a big deal, but other people do, and I can understand where they're coming from. you expect a game to have 60 frames per second, and this was the same gripe that came out in I think it was Gotham Knights. A lot of people were pissed off about that, and they figured that was a de-evolution of the Gotham franchise. But like I said, with a game such as this, I mean, it looked good. There was some stutter, for sure, but yeah, I mean that's my piece
It's
on
not
the
super
bad.
horrible though, the stutter or anything. And
Yeah.
I don't think that really takes away from the gameplay.
No, I don't think it does. So I'm just kind of preloading this now, but anyway, Pac-Man, you're taking lead on Ugly. What was ugly about the game, other than the fact that my ugly mug was playing it?
And that was going to be what I was going to say.
He took his thing.
I don't really have an ugly. It takes a lot to make me just like not physically play a game at all with people or without people.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it did kind of make me not want to play it by myself, but I still play with other people, so I don't really count that as not being able to play it. But I think the biggest thing was just not being able to find enjoyment in it single player.
Right.
The ugly and the bad are kind of one. Kind of like yours, that was your biggest gripe. That was kind of my biggest gripe.
Okay. Kish?
I mean, I don't really have too much of an ugly. I mean, besides, like Pac-Man said.
My face?
Well, yeah, and that. That's definitely number one. But, yeah, besides, I definitely enjoy it more with other people. I haven't played it solo yet at all. But yeah, that's mainly it. That, and then, of course, I mean, I got it from Game Pass, but had I paid $70 for it, I'd be kind of disappointed with it.
Right.
With
See, I did pay
especially,
$70 for it, but I didn't know it was coming to Game Pass. So that's the only reason I bought it.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah.
So honestly, basically, if anybody has a huge bitch fit about the game, it would definitely be you, because you put skin in the game, literally.
Yeah. And I tried to get a refund, but after that night we streamed it the first time,
Oh, 3 hours.
apparently Steam
Shit.
won't let me refund it if I play
Yeah,
more
they-
than 2 hours.
Oh,
yeah,
goddamn.
they're pretty hard in the 2-hour part, I think.
Yeah. So I had like 3.5 or something at the end of it, and I tried getting a refund, but they're like, nah.
Well,
So.
goddamn. Well,
It
we're
is what it is. I had the money to spend on the game. I'm not like hard for cash or anything, but
still, wasting
Yeah.
money and then not being able to get a refund. Well, you can blame me,
not a
man.
complete waste. But
I game napped you, and you're like, yeah, that guy cost me $70.
damn it, prank.
So, Kish, ugly? You were saying?
Oh, that was pretty much it.
Okay. My ugly? I'm kind of with you guys. It's not so much an ugly about the game, but it's an ugly about the state or modus operandi of most AAA developers. Now, look, it's not ugly about the game. It's just ugly. It's ugly about the mindset for a lot of these developers. And actually the whole space entirely. Like, look, so I have certain criteria for me to give a game a fair shake. I don't listen to anybody. I don't listen to mainstream media, Kotaku, IGN, or anything like that. If a new game comes out and it's a new IP, I'm excited, because that's like manna from heaven for me. Like, I'll play a new IP and I'll test it out, whatever. Games like Smallland, Cyberpunk. I've mentioned that before. What other games? Oh, Grounded. Grounded is a new IP. These new ideas. Like, I played the hell out of Ark Survival because there was really nothing on the market that was like it at the time when it first came out, to my knowledge, anyway. But Like, I'll sit there and I'll run it through its paces, and like, okay, yeah, this is kind of fun. I like this. Ooh, that kind of sucks, whatever. I'll just go through and run through the paces, and I guess I have a higher tolerance for shitty games, I guess. But the ugly, I think, and the reason why I'm covering this here for the Twitch side is because I don't think Redfall is getting a fair shake. Because what's going to happen is that Arcane Studios is going to take a look at how everybody's looking at the reception of this game, and this is not the developer's fault. Let me be clear on that. This is on the managers of the developers, the people who are worried about the money, the investment team, all that stuff. They're going to take a look. Okay, this is no longer worth our time. We need to move on to the next project and crank that out and get another payday. So they're going to ignore Redfall. And I think that this is going to be the death of a franchise before it even had a chance to even get up from its hands and knees and run. And I think that's a huge travesty. And that's where my ugly is at. It's not so much about the game itself. It's about the repercussions of what comes next. And honestly, I think that we as consumers need to vote with our money, sure. But at the same time, kind of come to the realization that if new IPs are not being played or invested in or paid attention to, and give a little bit of positive feedback to some of these studios who are taking a risk, and yes, it is a risk for these developers to put out something new that hasn't been done before. They're not gonna. It's gonna become another barren wasteland, and cookie cutter games are gonna be stamped out. I mean, I'm. You guys are probably too young to remember back in the days of the Atari and Nintendo. Nintendo cranked out a lot of duds. Plastic was cheap, and they came out with a lot of shitty games, a lot. And even back then, you didn't have hot fixes or whatever. It just, some of the games were unplayable. You look at, I think it was E.T. was rushed out the door in 6 weeks, just to tie in with the movie release. I mean, that's the only example I can come up with from the top of my head. But having said all that, I think we need to go ahead and take a look at exactly what is being said, so you guys know I'm not talking out my ass. So, Redfall review. The quote is, "Feels rushed." Here, let me scroll this up so you guys can read along with me. So, Redfall review. This is being pulled from Games Radar. Feels rushed, unfinished, and unsatisfying. That's fair. I mean, that'd be my feeling as well. Would you two agree?
On the unsatisfying part, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, pros: cool vampire character designs, interesting world. Cons: limited story, unincentivized co-op, repetitive mission structures, and buggy. Okay. I haven't been paying attention to the story at all, to be honest. The co-op, I guess the only incentive to co-op is just having fun with friends, which we're gonna have here in a bit. Okay, so who's the writer of this? Sam Loveridge. Okay, so Sam Loveridge, he says that Redfall is not a game that he expected to be. What he hoped for was a multiplayer game injected with arcane single-player prowess. That's a tall bit right there. Multiplayer game injected with single-player prowess. That's hard to do from a game balance perspective. But he came at this with a preconceived notion is what he did. So, with a touch of viscera, hint of blood, and lots of teeth. Fair. After all, this is the studio that brought us the dark and brilliant Dishonored series, the sci-fi intellect Prey, which is awesome, by the way. Definitely go play that game. And the detective thriller Deathloop. I wanted this to be Arcane's take on vampires, and while they are cool bloodsuckers, this is a disappointment. There's not much here that would make you think the same. Arcane is involved. Going on, Back 4 Blood in the Division 2 in terms of mission structure and the way it handles multiplayer progression, albeit with some odd quirks. Started a base, etc., etc. I didn't read this over again, but I should have. There are some side quests that can be found by exploring or speaking to people in your base, which I thought was a nice touch, personally. But sadly, they're basically shorter versions of similar ideas. Even the safe houses, which can be found and unlocked in each district of the map, repeat themselves almost immediately. Each needs a generator to be found to turn on to be unlocked, and then subsequently provide one mission from a small pool of repeating options and a surprisingly underpowered subboss to defeat. Yeah, so it is formulaic. That's fair. 4 playable characters to choose from. Layla, which is the telekinetic, the robot specialist Remy, inventor Devinder, and the long-range marksman Jacob, my guy. While all 4 present interesting and diverse backstories and powers, once you pick one, you can't switch to another without starting the entire game over again. I don't think that's a bad thing, to be honest. If you want to pick a new one, you can always delete your save. There is, save scumming is a thing. But,
Is there only one save available at the moment?
yeah.
Oh.
So, I think from a design standpoint, looking at it from a gamer's, from a game developer's section, I guess they were trying to lock a player, a person into playing one role, so that they actually know what the role is for, and what type, because there is a lot of synergies between the different play styles of the different characters. But I do like the idea that you can have 4 Jacobs or 4 Defenders or whatever. You weren't locked into, say, playing Willow, Max, and Pete and Hoops, whatever.
Yeah, one of each.
Yeah, one of each. It managed to leave out the character switching fun that you find in something like Back 4 Blood or Dead. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, let's see. Someone put the Ken Burns effect on some concept. Nope. Friends and Fangs. Yeah, this is a gripe that I actually had that I forgot about. I mean, that gun model looks really great, but you see that vampire, and the vampire attacks are very limited. And they also have the same problem that, say, ants of the backyard and grounded have. If they start a charge attack, I've actually gotten this response to jump up and backwards away from the attack, and no matter how far away, I'm always getting hit by those little shits. And that same holds true with the vampires. It doesn't matter if you're separated by a wall, you still get hit. So I think that's a little bit sus, but God, that gun model looks so good. Anyway, so it is buggy. I did experience some bugs myself. The whole idea of an offset, when you scope in, it's got an offset targeting reticle off to the left. I didn't enjoy that at all. I think this kind of speaks to your idea, Pac-Man. Single player is hampered by a squad-based open-world shooter structure. Multiplayer held back by odd decisions, and decent gunplay is marred by uninspiring mission structures. It's a confusing game full of contradictions, and the result is unfulfilling. Yeah, I guess that's a fair assessment, but the fact of the matter is that this is probably one of the most balanced reviews I've seen from Games Radar. Now, if we go back to IGN, looks like it's following the same story beats. 90 minutes to Redfall, which gave me the first taste of something akin to Far Cry, which is fair. Made by Stephen King. It's an open world shooter set in the modern day of Massachusetts. I did not know this, actually. Massachusetts. Filled with gothic small town vibes, famed horrors with buffet of activities. Not bad writing. Every second room I entered felt staged to tell a story. Redfall definitely is an arcade game, just not the one I expected. That seems to be the going consensus.
I'm sure it's not expected, but that's what it is.
Yeah. And he's learning the tricks of the trade. Yeah, there's not a lot of tricks. I mean, I was kind of hoping to do a little, like Sam and Dean Supernatural thing. That'd be kind of neat if they put something like a Supernatural bit in there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But
Mix this game with Phasmophobia.
oh, that'd be
Right.
Hey, yeah. So now you don't have to just report on the dead body in the basement. You have to investigate who did it, and then end them.
Well, either Phas or I forget the name of the game, but whatever Kish turned you on to.
Oh, forewarned.
Bought for you.
Yeah. yeah, you're the forewarned is gonna get back in the get on the rotation. I think that'd be kind of fun to do. Also, we're gonna have to like revisit Tiny Tina's now that Kish has it. So,
Yeah, we are.
I'm gonna get it.
oh, I thought you already got it.
No,
Oh, all right.
I'm a procrastinator. You know this.
Yeah.
I was supposed to get it like 2 weeks ago when it was on sale.
Yep.
Now it's on sale again, so now I'm gonna get it.
Well, for all intents and purposes, YouTubers the world over, I think it was what was it? Legacy Killa HD on YouTube, flamed him. But here's, you guys ready for the tinfoil hat, the creme de la creme? Before I get into that, you guys have anything to add to what we've just already covered, or I'm gonna probably cut out about a good solid 15 minutes of us just him and Han, but this is the conclusion segment.
I don't think too much. Pretty sure we covered it all.
Okay, Pac-Man.
Besides that, it
Oh,
is just. I was gonna say it is just a little bit of the same all the time, like going out, doing the same fights essentially over and over.
Right.
Finding the red mist, so on and so forth.
Well, I'm hoping that we're gonna get into a gameplay loop that I've been kind of plotting on. I want to put you guys through your paces. We're gonna farm up for Rook, but yeah.
I wish they had like some sort of, I don't want to say meter, but something that indicates when you're about to spawn a rook.
Yeah, there is. There's one.
Oh, there is?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. And if you don't do
Your wish has been
much,
granted.
if you don't do much, that meter actually starts to go down.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, it degrades.
Yeah. So no, you don't get batteries. No. Really? You gonna interrupt me on my conclusion segment, boy?
You can cut it out.
Dang nabbit. Always with the batteries. Thank God I have rechargeables.
That's what she said.
Whoa.
It's alright. That's why I have stock and Energizer and Duracell.
Yeah, but I got nothing else to add to it.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, here's my tinfoil hat segment, okay? You know how I said the people who are making the decisions to make all the money or whatever? I think that Redfall was probably a prototype in some way, shape, or form. They slammed it all together, and they pushed it out the door, and they're trying to see what sticks. You know, like reviews like this, like, all right, what did we do good with Redfall? What did we do bad? Okay, so hopefully, moving forward, Arcane Studios and Bethesda at large says, all right, we need to make it cross-compatible across everything: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Epic, whatever. Right? We did good with the weapons, but we can do that better, right? Maybe make it peer-to-peer. Take a what is it? Well, you can't do peer-to-peer across platform, but you can do servers, with the protocols, whatever. And then say, oh, what did we do bad? Okay, well, the mission was uninspiring. We need to add that. We need to hire more mission designers. We need to do this. We need to do that. And then bring out a swan song. Maybe they're gonna sit on it for a year, and then they're gonna go into pre-production, whatever they do behind the scenes, before they even say anything to the public, right? I mean, look at how they're treating Starfield, which I'm thinking probably isn't going to be as good as I want it to be, but I'm still going to play it because I'm a freaking moron.
It's not going to be the best right out the gate.
No, and I'm prepared to see some growing pains. I mean, there was growing pains with Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous. The game that's out there now is not the game that came out 5 to 7 years ago. Okay, but it was an evolution of gameplay of sorts. But that's also comparing apples to oranges, and we know about that. But I think somewhere in the bowels, the sub basement of Arcane Studios, they said, hey, let's go ahead and do this a certain way and prototype something. Let's see what works, see what doesn't. Now, admittedly, Arcane is known for their single-player games, but multiplayer not so much. So maybe this is their first foray into it. I mean, look at what happened with I haven't ever played it, but by all intents and purposes, hey Marv, how you doing, man? We're doing conclusion, wrapping up the whole Redfall thing. But look at what happened with Fallout 76. Music's loud? Really? How about that? There we go. Well, thanks for the feedback. Kish, you weren't listening.
I listen to you through Discord. I have the stream muted,
Oh no!
so I'm not hearing double.
Yeah, all right. No, I hear you. Now you can hear me?
Same here.
Okay, no worries. Well, shit. Fuck, I didn't even put the save VOD to the computer, but anyway. This might be kind of a pain in the ass to edit and post, but I'll muddle my way through. Anyway, so Fallout 76. Okay, Fallout 76 was handed to a junior studio, and it was released, and it had all these fucking bugs, all these problems, a lot of cost-cutting measures that the developers, the managers of the developers made. Says, all right, this is what your job. Do this. But what if, no, that's your job. Don't add anything more. Don't take anything out. I just want you to work on this. That team works on that. And they cobbled together something that they could push out the door. Was it good? No. It was horrible. But they fixed it. Over the consternation and that public outcry of a bunch of other, what I like to call scandals. Bethesda really went down a bad route with that. And seeing as the Arcane Studios is part of Bethesda and now is part of Microsoft, maybe Microsoft can learn something from this. Because even Phil Spencer had to apologize for Redfall in some way, shape, or form. Because, their policy is hands off of the studios. So, I really think that somewhere along the way, the decision maker says, let's throw together a new IP. It's going to be a throwaway IP. We're going to see what sticks and what doesn't, and then they're going to move forward with those lessons. I can't think of a single game that has come out from that process, but I think that there are some titles out there. This video is going to be on YouTube, so hopefully somebody can pop off on comments. But with all that said, I got nothing else. Unless you guys have something to add, we're going to jump right into Redfall.
I think that pretty much covered it all.
Okay.
I think so too.
All right.